Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Bruce, CMO at Agent Moves, and welcome to our Good to Great series. We're all about sharing amazing stories of how top realtors become great and how they got there. And we're looking to help make more realtors become great. So let's jump in with our guest today, Melinda Kruse DePerna. So welcome, Melinda. And I always like to introduce new agents with something about them that's not about real estate because we'll talk plenty about that. Melinda had told me she's in San Diego, which is just one of the great cities that I've spent time in. She's into scuba diving, longevity, the blue zone, which I'm a little bit into, but nowhere near what she is. But love to hear a little bit about this journey you're taking right now, specifically like with blue zone and longevity and how it's working.
Well, thanks, Michael. I'm happy to be here this morning in beautiful San Diego. And it kind of came about, I just had a birthday this last week. And this exploration really started, it's almost 10 years ago now. I mentioned to you, I've lost over 100 pounds. Right now, it's about 100 because, we go up and down in life. And I was at the top form. Things are going great. Obviously, we went through pandemic, all of that. And about a year ago, I started to have some pain. And I still don't really know the source, but some chronic pain. And I want to live another 30 years and I want to do it well. I've reinvented myself. And then I'm at the top of my game and all of a sudden I'm dealing with chronic pain. And docs want to go the route of, well, the next is a pain management clinic. Or we could do this, we can give you a shot. I didn't want to do that. I want to get to the root cause and just live better. So that became the kind of the exploration of the blue zone. I was a pescatarian, which means somebody who eats mostly plants and seafood. And it just had me exploring more of how do we live well and how does pain manifest in our bodies.
And how has it worked against the pain, most importantly?
Every day is different. And that's the funny thing. I think that actually acupuncture has been the biggest differentiator. But when you change more than, I'm also a scientist originally. I didn't tell you that. Sorry for bringing that on you. But when you change more than one variable at a time, you don't necessarily know which one's the one that's the magic pill. And my truth is, and I think this is this, if you read anything up on blue zones, there's not one magic pill. There's a whole bunch of things. So, I'm going to say that eating more and more of a plant-based diet and the acupuncture and stress management. And stress management, when you're not, my stress management was physical activity. And when you're in pain, I couldn't do those things that gave me stress management. So it has to come from within.
Really interesting. Yeah. And a great approach. Love hearing not going deep with the doctors, been through some medical stuff. So, sometimes you just have to. There's no way around it. But anything you can do with diet and exercise, I'm, all for, and have some friends that just won't listen, that just have these events, at this point of our lives, right? Have these events and then everything is medication, and don't go for the root cause like you are. So really, absolutely fantastic. And you and I will talk about that separately. So let's talk about real estate.
Yeah,
All right?
yeah. Start
So
real
let's
estate.
talk about the career. Let's start with how you first got involved and the scientist part. I'm really curious on how that bridged and what was going on there and then coming into real estate. But I can already see how your mind works and how you've probably used that to really grow your real estate business as well.
Well, in this world and in our world of 40 years ago, 45 years ago, when you're making those decisions about college, if you're good at math and sciences, everybody wants you to go in that direction. So I went in that direction. I have a BS in chemistry. I saw early on that, it probably wasn't going to be the best match for me. We had a conversation before this about our kids in college and graduate degrees. And I worked so hard on my undergraduate, I didn't want to go back for grad school. Ironically, I went back for an MBA, which after a degree in chemistry, it's sorry guys, but it's a piece of cake. So I knew that as much as I liked working in the lab, that I wasn't going to be able to live the lifestyle that I wanted working in the lab. So I pursued other avenues, had multiple careers in Fortune 100 in technical marketing. And then I traveled a lot for my work. When I became a mom, was shortly thereafter investing in real estate. I came the way most people come into real estate. Very few people wake up and say, I want to have a career in real estate. We fall into it. And that's what happened. I had short-term rentals that I was good at marketing and filling, and people started to ask me to manage theirs. I got licensed, life changed. And this is probably my fifth or sixth career. and it won't be my last. So that's part of the blue zone. It won't be my last. I got another 30 years to go, but I won't be slinging real estate for 30.
I hear you. So tell me about those first few years. Okay, so you get started, um, and when do you jump in full time, make the commitment, and how did that first year go really in real estate?
Well, I have strong opinions about real estate, and I've also done coaching for people. I don't believe that this is a part-time business. We're talking in San Diego, the median sales price is over $1 million. I don't want a part-time agent dealing with my $1 million investment, whether it's my home or it's an investment property. I really think that we owe that to our clients to be professionals. So when I jumped in full time. It's just about 11 years ago, maybe 10 and a half years ago. I jumped in full time, but not with my heart. I did it. I was kind of forced to get back to work, be told to go out there and make six figures again because of change in my now ex-husband's financial dynamics. And a real estate broker's license really is a license to print money if you can figure out how to crack that code. So I went back reluctantly and did a little bit of business. And there was a turning point in the business. I was working with a coach in our office. I'm with Keller Williams. I'm a broker, but I chose after my vacation rental brokerage, I chose to hang my license because I now knew better. I wanted somebody else to handle that side of the business so I could sell real estate. And I walked into his office one day and he asked me, I don't get it. Why do you continue to play so small? You've got everything here. I'm not, I'm capable of selling at a high level. And it came down to some fears that I had personally, some things personally. But once I made that change, within 6 months, I was selling at the clip that I should be and made it a successful full-time career. In Keller Williams, there's something they call a cap, that there's a certain level of production that you don't pay the brokerage any more money for that year. And once I capped, I've never gone back again, and then of course there's been different variations through that business for 10 years now.
Right, right. No, fantastic. So talk about some of the, I guess, maybe early challenges. Again, we're trying to put out some good nuggets of information for good realtors to become great. And even newbies that'll be watching this, right? That will be able to pick up any kind of nugget of information. I say it's a home run. You can leave with one thing from this interview, right?
The early challenges, ironically, are the same as the not early challenges. They're right here. The stuff that is the core of your business, that keeps the bills paid, that keeps the lights on, that's the cap. It's boring. It's boring. You have to get up every day. It's a 4-letter word. Work, WORK. It's a belly to belly business, even if it's virtual bellies, even if it's social media. You've got to talk to people. You have to talk to enough people at the right time about the right things. And you got to get up and do it all over again. So 2024 is my best year ever.
Beautiful.
Okay. And we can frame that it is not the best market ever. It is my best year ever. But I woke up on January 1, 2025 behind because I didn't already have my business for January open. I really wanted to just go away. What are we doing this interview early January? I kind of just want to go away on vacation. You can't. Yes, you can vacation, you can have lifestyle and all of that. But the belly to belly, the conversations have to continue to take place. And it has to take place day in, day out. And you have to figure a way to sustain that. And they make the jokes about somebody closes the big deal, they buy a Lamborghini and they go on vacation and they don't close anything for 3-4 months. I've lived that cycle like this. And that's probably my greatest fear today, is that cycle happening again, except I have cracked the code. And that really is just consistent conversations.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's very good. Very good. And so how do you keep the consistent conversation? Because now 10, 11 years, I'd imagine you have a pretty good sphere of influence. And we can talk a little bit about how you built that, from the beginning, again, for, anyone listening, especially for newbies, how you build your sphere. And then what are you doing today, to keep that consistent? Because I do hear this a lot. Even the most successful agents, and not as much, get that giant, paycheck, Lamborghini, go on. a little bit more just they get so busy, because the thing you do best is touch, belly touching, as you were saying, right? That's what you all do best, is communicating like that, but doing the work behind it to make sure you consistently have that flow. That seems to be a really big issue for agents.
It really is. And I'd like to say that it is self-discipline, but it's not just self-discipline, because we have up days and down days, and the market changes and the requirements change. And when you think you've got it figured out, the algorithm changes, and yet it doesn't, because it is that consistency. So I found that surrounding myself with the right people is incredibly important. I am a classic solo agent leader, type A personality, D, if we use a DISC scale, everything you want to use in the language. I'm that person. I'm the team leader. I'm the rainmaker. Yet I came into this later in life. And so I don't have the same aspirations to have a big, huge operation. I'm about profitability and quality of life more than I am about ego and proving myself in the business. I've already done that. I don't need to do that again. I just frankly want to build influence and build other people and all of that, but not by the classic team kind of thing, my goals. So you have to, I guess that's the first thing. You have to understand what it is you want from this business and not fall into the trap of doing what everybody else has done. So I actually ended up joining a team about 2.5 years ago. And the guy who runs it is like my baby brother, twin, and he gets to do all that, invent all those wheels, and then I get to leverage what he does.
Mhm.
When we first went into business together, the conversation was, once we had my business stabilized, that maybe I'd take over and do the same operation here in San Diego. He's out of Orange County, about 60, 70 miles north of me. And I decided clearly in later, like maybe 6 months to a year in, I don't want to do that. I'm going to keep letting him get better at that and keep dealing with it. And I'm going to keep doing what I do well and eventually transition into my next thing, which is more coaching. I was doing coaching and got inconsistent with my belly to bellies, and my real estate business went down. So this is about leveraging to stabilize that part. And that's part of the conversation, which your company does too, is stabilization.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. I think right there alone, for even an experienced agent, 5, 7 years into this, that, a bit younger, that sees it as a career and thinks the only way is to build a team. Not necessarily, right? It's lifestyle. There are two elements to this. Even if you had your own business, right? You can create a lifestyle business or a business that you want to create a financial event with. And lifestyle business, you can create this for yourself and you are in control and no one else. It's really a great life.
And you can have both.
You
Okay.
can.
Since
Yep.
this is for a real estate audience, I hope I can talk about money. Okay.
Absolutely.
You can have both. I not only had the best year of my career in quantity of units and amount sold, I also had it in net profit and in what I was able to put away in my coffers. Had I chosen, it could have just been big vacations. This year I chose, the coffers so that I can do the next good thing. You can have more than just one or the other. And one of the things I see with a lot of the teams is, and I guess this would be the big takeaway I want for other agents, is just like you tell your sellers to focus on the net sellers, you as a business owner need to focus on the net. Everybody gets so caught up in splits and expenses, which are very important to manage, but that's just part of the overall picture. How much do you net? And does it match at what cost? Does it match your lifestyle? It's best year of my career. I also take Sundays off religiously. And I got fired for that by at least one client. And a lot of other agents were upset with me because I'd have these hot listings that they wanted to talk to me on Sunday. I'm like, nah, we'll talk on Monday. I set this up for a reason. So I got both time and money this year.
Wow. Wow. That's the first I've heard of that, knowing how the weekends are just so busy, open houses, because the buyers basically, right? It's more of their free time to go out and, see homes, and to shut out one of those days, that's your commitment. That's the first I've heard of that. That is, amazing. You've been able to stay to it. And if you lost a customer or two, like you said, for your lifestyle, the balance of that didn't matter. So what a great piece of information. I don't think other agents can think that way. It's like the weekend is my time. It's almost like I'll take off, Monday and Tuesday. Those are going to be lighter days than losing a Sunday. Yeah, quite amazing. So now you're looking to scale. Okay, so now you had your best year, right? But you're going to keep it going. What are we going to do now? What's the plan coming into 2025?
Part of it is leveraging those things that are not high uses of my time. You need to, as an agent, know what your hourly value is. So I said I take Sundays off. I still handle buyers on my own. And when I'm capable, I show them property. But I have no problem paying someone whom I've trained and I trust to show a property for me. I'm still negotiating. It's rocket science for the properties, and I have no problem doing that. I have a team behind me, a team that does a lot of the other work for me. Part of that is letting go and allowing them to do their job, and it may not be the same as how I do it. This is probably my biggest challenge right now is although I'm a driver, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. I want it done right and I want it done fast. And so it's that storming and norming with my team every time I hit a new level of production or I just won the discussion. I won't call it an argument, but my business partner, part of our arrangement, he pays my advertising, which also means he has a say in who we use for costs. And I wasn't happy with the photographer we're using down here. I wanted to go back to my old photographer because I tried his for a while. And we had to restorm that and get that photographer because sometimes you need to let it go. And sometimes you need to fight for what you know is really important. But you choose your battles, just like raising kids. You choose your battles.
Excellent. Excellent. Love that. Really, really good. So I really appreciate, I think this is some great stuff for, again, the idea is, what can we take away to help us leverage, to get to that next stage, right? Whatever we're doing. And I think some of the things you're doing, again, everyone does something different, right? And brings something different to the table, different strategy. But what you've brought from, your prior background, and I love the lifestyle approach to this, yet building a team and being able to do what you're doing and looking at the net. We haven't really spoken about that a lot on these interviews. So I love when there's something a little bit different. And I think agents will, get some really good nuggets from this conversation that we had today. And really appreciate your time. It was really awesome getting to meet you, Melinda. And hopefully we'll get a couple of people will follow Melinda on her social media and come join us on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, please, and see you at the next interview. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.